we
is
got
on
our
the air.
yes, yes, live Saturday night. Coming to us live, of course, from Manhattan.
Yep, streaming you,
As we do every Saturday
streaming the
night.
alive on at Spreaker.com. And what
Yeah,
have we gotten our little issues? Uh, um, like many people using the internet to broadcast radio, there's been an ongoing issue with the broadcast software that we all use.
indeed there is. Yes.
So that's why those of you that are tuning in to us via TuneIn are really hearing anything. And those of you who
Yeah,
are tuning in on Spreaker or listening to this as a podcast will understand what the hell has happened.
we're working on it as usual. Yeah. Well, we should be solid. We should be more solid here in a couple more weeks, 2 or 3 more weeks. So certainly by Christmas time we'll be squared away. But that's on our end. The other end of the thing is, of course, the internet end, and there's not a whole lot of things we can do about that. But we keep on trying to improve the platform we've got. So we just keep on hacking at it. We'll get it one of these days. So we
Yeah.
just keep hacking away at it. Weather here. What's the weather here? We got 25 degrees. It's icy out there. It's a little icy. So not good. Not good. Not good. So
Okay.
yeah, we got some sort of
Cool.
leakage there coming through. I like
Well,
that.
that's because I'm still playing around with setting up
All right. Okay.
screen sharing. I'm actually now looking at the
I got to
um.
turn this music down just a kitty whisker. Yeah, there we go. That'll help.
Wait a minute. I go back there.
Spring share.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, yeah. I'm actually using my television. For those of you that don't know, I was given the gift of a TV. I have TV and cable now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So we got that going on. Upgrades in Manhattan complex looking better. So yeah, it's always good. Uh, and you're using that as to access the internet.
Sort of. Oh,
All right.
now I'm just looking at my screen and nothing fucking else. This doesn't do me any good. I need to
Okay.
be able to see my software.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
But boy, my desktop picture is really lovely. It's a sculpture of a chimera,
Okay. All right.
which
So we
has the
got that going.
body of a lion, and then it's also got a head of a ram and the tail of a snake.
There you go. There you go. You get that combo. You're pretty much set if you're walking around the planet with that combination. It's not bad. Not a bad combo right there.
Yeah, but I'm not. But I should be seeing my software.
Yeah.
I should be seeing the streaming software. Look, isn't this fun, folks? Computer Geeks Unlimited. But at least
There
I
you
can
go.
see my. But at least when I get it up and running, I'm not going to be going blind on a screen that is actually somewhat just tiny bit larger than my iPad Mini.
Right. Yeah. True. True. I'm gonna try to get a chat. Get a chat with us. Just go to neverradio.com. Scroll down at the bottom of the
Yeah.
page on the right hand side of the bottom of the page. There is a link to the chat. So click that and join us there. The way to do that. And
But
there's
of
a lot of
course.
stuff. But I've tried to get over there. I had this thing opened up once and I blew it. So we're gonna try it again. So there's that. And yeah, just go over there. Just go over to neverradio.com and join us. Hit that, click that link and join us. That's the way to do that. I'll be there, eventually tonight sometime. Not much going on here. I mean, we had the Black Friday weekend, extravaganza, I guess, and one of the places I work at decided to have the Black Friday extravaganza on Thanksgiving Day, and it did not work out too well for them. Let's put it that way. It just didn't. Just the magic didn't happen. Whatever magic's involved in Black Friday doesn't happen on Thursday. I can tell you that right now. So I mean, I don't know this whole movement to one up your competitor by we'll beat that some bitch. Oh, he's opening the doors at 2 o'clock Friday morning. We're going to open it up 10 o'clock Thursday night. Take that, you competitor bastards. So there's that. There's that aspect of it, and it didn't work out too well. So I think they're going to go back to the drawing board. Maybe we'll have Black Friday happen on Wednesday, maybe next year. We'll see how that works. as they keep pushing it back and back and back and back. So that's
Come
fun.
on.
That was a fun thing. And we got Ricky in the chat tonight. So of course Ricky the Kanakastanian from near Iceland, somewhere out there that way
Yeah,
toward
somewhere. Yeah,
Iceland.
yeah, somewhere near Newfoundland.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. So she's out there in the North Atlantic somewhere. Just man, oh man. Still pretty chilly there in that neck of the woods, of course, as you suspect and expect. And it's chilly here. It's 25. Like I said, it's a little icy. The roads are icy here tonight, so got to be careful there. Other than that, it's not too bad. It's just starting to look like more and more like winter out here in the hinterlands of near 21. What else we got going? There's not much going on. We just try to survive the damn Black Friday weekend was all we tried to do here. So there wasn't a whole lot going on. I didn't get on coast that much over the weekend, and so there's that. But the Twitterverse, most of it was on the shooting out there in Colorado.
Yeah. I'm one of those that is not. I refuse to talk about the terrorist.
Yeah,
to not give him the notoriety he so desperately deserves or
Yeah.
desires.
Right. Yeah, screw that. Just know that there was a shooting out there.
It was an act of terrorism. Got to start calling it what it is. Got to start reframing a lot of this. Number one, it's Planned Parenthood, which is a women's and men's health clinic.
Yep.
You got to start moving away from identifying Planned Parenthood as an abortion clinic. It's only very, very, and they don't even do abortions, by the way, folks. They refer. They refer. And they are women's health and men's health.
Right.
And we have to start referring to Planned Parenthood as a health clinic for men and women.
Yep.
And also we have to start referring to the people that do acts like this as domestic terrorists. Not mentioning their names, not giving any information about who they are. We need to start talking about the people who died, like the evangelical pastor who was the cop that died.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get it too much deep into the weeds as far as the story
and
goes,
the other thing we also need to start addressing is it's another white guy. He didn't get shot. Not all police departments behave the same way. Chicago shoots people in the back. You got your police departments that will shoot people in the back.
Right.
I'm tired of dealing with this shit. Just shoot them. Instead of sending an ambulance when you're calling about somebody having an emotional distress, the cops come and what they do is just say fuck this and shoot.
Yeah.
I mean, there seems to be a desire for a tit for tat, and I was listening to the police. I have a scanner app on my phone. And I was listening to the police scanner for Colorado Springs. And there was a shootout going on in the building between the terrorist and the cops.
Right.
And I think I even said on Skype that looks like that the cops are going to try and take him out.
Right.
But I got a feeling the guy surrendered because he was out of fucking ammunition.
Probably it, yeah.
And we on the left have fallen prey to the same sort of thing that the people on the right have, and that is we take the first pieces of information and take it as gospel. It's the truth. It's what it's all about.
Yeah, I heard it on the news. Therefore, yeah.
That they people going on, oh, yeah, they were trying to say it was like a bank robbery going on. Right. They did not know what was going on until it was over. They were saying it was this, so they were trying to cover up what it was. They didn't know. They only got a phone call, a 911 call from Planned Parenthood. There was a bank nearby. All they got a call was shots being fired. It didn't say there were shots being fired into the Planned Parenthood.
Yeah, I didn't quite get the whole bank connection at all.
That particular Planned Parenthood is apparently in a strip mall.
Oh, okay.
Or near a strip mall. And there was a bank nearby. And I guess they initially thought that it was a bank
Bank
robbery,
attempt.
and
Yeah.
the robber, took refuge at the Planned Parenthood because there were people there and he had hostages.
Right. Right. I don't know. Get
And the
swagged
bullshit
there, right?
24 and the news media, I'm talking to you, MSNBC and CNN and Fox, weren't much help.
As usual. Yeah. Lately, anyway. Yeah, they're you're not going to get much help from them guys. They're going
You
to
know,
make it up as they go for the most
living in
part.
New York City, I do not expect the police to protect me. I can't rely on them to protect me because of what happened to me. I had my house. I had my house. I was a victim before. I was a victim of a criminal home invasion. I was the victim of a police home invasion, and they knew damn well the day before they knocked my door down that what they were looking for wasn't in my apartment, but they had the warrant, so they served it anyway.
Right.
That has left me with a total mistrust of the police, and not feeling safe around them.
Yeah, like a lot of people.
And
Yeah.
I'm technically a in air quotes white person because the U.S. government says I am.
There you go. There you go.
No, I wouldn't feel safe in Chicago either from the police.
Yeah, maybe even more so in
You've got
Chicago.
large cities with overworked, underpaid, understaffed police departments like here in New York. And if you're overworked, you're going to be tired. I mean, one of the first things the Republicans did when they got control of the House was cut the police, the money, cut the funding for more cops on the street. When they had more, when the federal government was paying, augmenting budgets so cities could put more police on the streets, you didn't see this type of behavior. You also didn't see, even though it was happening since the 90s, of neo-Nazis and Klansmen, open racists, joining the police department, becoming first responders. I would bet anything that the cops that are shooting young black men, young Latino men, and young, are no longer talking openly racist, pejorative words regarding people not like them, but they've done the David Duke thing. They've pulled their rhetoric back when they're in public. And now I'm all for your constitutional right for freedom of association, but if you're going to be a fucking first responder, going to be a cop, then I'm sorry, you lose if you have openly espoused racist views. If you have been openly associated, even if you're not a fucking member of white in any of the white nationalist movement, right. You have given up your right to be a cop. If
I would think so. Yeah.
I don't care. There's certain mindsets that should that should if I think being a racist, being a racist and not being able to handle dealing with non-white populations should be considered a mental illness for the purposes of police work, of law enforcement. And and that's across the board.
Right.
If you're a Latino who has issues with white people, then you can't be a cop either, because the automatic presumption is. Now that's going to piss a lot of people off because a lot of white guys aren't going to be able to be cops.
Right.
The Irish Catholics forgot what area it was, on the east side of New York, upper east side of New York, had such a sway in this Italian neighborhood, that they were able to successfully stop, the joyful celebrations, because for them, for the Irish, celebrating, anything needs to be a solemn affair and not having any fun with it.
Right.
Oh, what San Gennaro? You can't parade around with your icons. That's like, oh no, you can't do that. But that's my feeling. I survived Black Friday, but then again, I did not have to go into work until 5 o'clock yesterday evening.
Good, good, very good. Yep, that helps right there.
And a lot of disappointed people that the reasonably priced yet underpowered laptops were all sold out. Um, Company I work for has a 200 and it's currently its doorbuster price is $149.99. Nice laptop, 14-inch screen, non-touch screen.
Yep.
But it only has 2 gigs of memory and a 32 gigabyte flash drive. Now,
Yeah.
the flash drives in laptops were the interim between the hard drive, the SATA drives, and the solid state drives. And what a flash drive is in the computer, it's basically a thumb drive.
Yeah, it's
It's a
figured.
thumb drive.
Yeah.
So it's actually so the flash drive is actually the first internal hard drive with no moving parts.
Right. Right.
But with that limited amount of storage, there's not a whole hell of a lot you can do with it. But at least it runs Windows, so
Yeah, you can check email, stuff like that. Surf.
But yeah, that's basically
surf
what
it.
it's That's basically what it's for. Homework and all
Yeah.
that stuff because it doesn't have enough power or memory to do much of anything else.
Right.
And now we're moving into solid state drives, and people are going, oh, but this is only so it's a small amount of space. Yeah, but everything's going up to the cloud. Our computers are being turned back into dumb terminals.
Yeah.
With all Microsoft is going back into a services thing. They're
Yeah. The
cloud
desktop
services,
is,
the cloud service. Everything's going to be in their network. They're going to
Right.
have control over what you can use. Forget to pay your subscription the following year. Hope you have you won't be able to get to your stuff. It's like forgetting to it's like
Yeah.
missing a payment on your Dropbox and suddenly you don't have all this space, or missing a payment on your Podomatic account and you've got the Pro and suddenly it's like you're over. You have to start deleting stuff because you don't have your space anymore. But it's
Right.
it's always interesting. There was one woman who did freak out briefly yesterday, Friday rather, but there was nothing. She just shrieked at somebody and that was it.
yeah, not bad.
I was
Not bad. No
actually
blood.
hoping for a little bloodshed because then I could have
Yeah.
video recorded it and then
Right.
uploaded it.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Got to put that up on YouTube.
And
Somebody will probably post something on YouTube.
well, also it seems that this year's Black Friday, and we're going to fuck up your Thanksgiving Thursday, was a bust. They only raked in businesses only, according to sources, said they only brought in just over $10 billion in revenue in stores for Black Friday
Okay, yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's easier and less traumatic to order online, to do catalog shopping.
Yeah, more and more people
Amazon's-
online. shop.
Amazon, all these places like Amazon, Overstock,
Yep.
Those places. It's all they're catalog stores.
Yeah, it is.
Their fronts are catalogs,
Right.
and it's much
Same with
easier.
catalog.
And it's much easier to shop via catalog.
It is. And, get it sent right to your door. You ain't got to muck you around. You haven't got to go anywhere. Blah, 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 blah. That's what I said. I think Black Friday will morph right to the net here within the next 10 years, where you won't see any of the big boxes open really except for a normal day of business and everything else. All the good stuff, all the goodies will be online, where you log on to these big box stores, or you go to one spot
you can.
and do business that way.
People were shopping online at BestBuy.com, and these doorbusters that were online were sold out
Right.
online.
Yep. Yeah, well, you're going to sell out eventually because if you're opening the doors to online shoppers, there's 10 zillion of them out there, so you can only have limited quantities, obviously. Otherwise, you're going to be you're just not going to have space for this stuff. You're going to run out of hardware or warehouse space for this stuff eventually, but I think it's going to go to. I think it's going to go to the net. I think in about 7, 8, 9, 10 years, you're going to download a Black Friday app on your iPhone
Well,
and
what do you
or
think? What do you think?
you know,
BestBuy.com and all of these websites, shopping websites that have their own
apps.
apps
Yeah,
for tablets and phones.
yeah, yeah. They're setting up. There's no question about it. They're setting up these. Oh, that's
Okay,
cool.
hang on. Hold on.
Okay, or reroute. Okay, there we go. Okay,
Okay, just got back to my regular TV screen because I still haven't gotten it up to the point where I could actually get you mirror my laptop to the or share the screen. But at
right.
least I know it's recognized, so that's a good sign. Yay! And you're listening to the Roundhouse Power Hour here on netrootsradio.com and
Yes,
through
yes.
Spreaker.com. And if you're not listening via Spreaker, well, then you can find us on our podcast at, on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher,
Yep.
and your favorite podcatcher.
Pretty much.
You can find us anywhere.
Yeah, we're out there.
Oh,
We're out
and by
there.
the way, ladies and gentlemen, while you're listening to us, and if you're like in the chat room and you found our chat room at netrootsradio.com at the bottom of the page, and you click that link that said join the chat. On the other side of that link is a link to our Netroots Radio Patreon page. And for a mere $10 a month, you can help keep us online. Yeah, I know we're sounding like public radio, but and that's true
Yeah.
because the only people that are getting paid here at Netroots Radio are the awesome people at Unity Networks,
Our tech guys,
our
tech
Tech
crew.
Guys, Apache, and Sunscreen, and the other awesome people on the San Carlos Apache Reservation that are keeping us up and running and the servers up and running. So your $10 a month sponsorship, you'll get a bumper sticker. You'll get maybe something else, maybe like a handwritten thank you. How many people today still write letters?
Yeah.
You know, eventually we might have some swag that we can offer you in exchange for your donations. Cool stuff. You've had enough of the beer koozies and crap like that, but maybe flasks.
Yeah.
Pint flasks.
A flask would be good with our logo on it, I think.
Yeah, something that is actually
Yeah.
that you will actually use, ladies and gentlemen. Shopping bag. Everybody gets shopping totes. But there's a lot of
Yeah.
there. You never know.
Yeah,
But
that's out there. The potential's out there definitely
yeah,
to do that. So,
really, Netroots Radio, custom
yeah, just looking for a couple
laptop
bucks a month,
covers,
basically, to keep us
iPhone
going,
covers,
keep the
stuff,
lights on.
Android phone covers, stuff that you can, things that you can use.
There you go. There you go.
Hanukkah ornaments with
Yes.
Netroots Radio in Hebrew.
There you go. I like that. I like that. Eventually we'll get
CDs
there.
of me coughing into my microphone.
Exactly. That can happen. That happens a lot. So I mean, not just the Rowan girl, but all of us here. But I've had this freaking cold for I don't know ever now. So I don't know what's going on. Not really a cold. It's some sort of I don't know bug of some sort.
Well, I've been dealing with asthma for the last few days, and of course Wednesday. Now some of you know I live in supportive housing, so Wednesday we had our Thanksgiving dinner here, and no sooner had I gotten and the plate weighed maybe half a pound, and it was all from the starches, from the rice, the mac and cheese, the sweet potatoes, and the potato salad.
That's all you really need.
And we had a little turkey.
That's your main starch right there.
Little bits of turkey and a little bit of collard greens, and a tiny bit of cranberry, and the rest was all carbohydrates.
I love it. Yeah, bring on the carbs, bring on the starch.
Or let's put it this way: any of the people, the diabetics that reside here, could not partake of of the Thanksgiving meal because of all the carbohydrates that were on that plate.
Right, right. So there's that. There's that.
And as
And
soon as I got upstairs and back into my lovely room here, I got a sore throat.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Hey, woo!
Yeah. So we're
Oh,
all enjoying
a
that.
mess.
I got
Thank
the
you,
same.
ever changing weather.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Um, and we're heading into winter big time in a hurry.
Well, maybe
Uh,
you are up there, but not here.
yeah. Well, you get a little bit less than we do, but you still get some of it. You get some of the cold air coming in there, but not so much snow that we get up here, of course. But thank the gods for that. That New York City doesn't have to deal with snow removal for the most part. I mean, you get maybe 4 or 5 storms a year at wintertime when you have to remove snow, but other than that, pretty much takes care of itself. And it's
Oh,
not fun
speaking of
here.
snow, the excuse the domestic terrorist gave for doing what he did was the fraudulent Planned Parenthood videos.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
So, as far as
Well,
I am concerned, the people that produced those films should also be held responsible.
yeah, I don't get that whole freaking thing anyway.
Oh,
But
they in an effort to destroy women's health clinics, women's
yeah,
ability to get low cost health care, and for men to get low cost health care, they set about um, trying to do what O'Keefe did to Acorn. And even though they've and the people that produce those videos have come out and said, yeah, they're bullshit. We faked them. That's why we have to start reframing it. Planned Parenthood doesn't do abortions. It's a family planning clinic. It provides health care services to men and women.
there you go. Um,
And, we have to start reframing it in those terms and start reframing all of these attacks, these lone wolf white guy attacks, as domestic terror. You go into a church with a gun and you shoot it up, you're a terrorist. Because your whole idea is to. That's why the Klan can be considered a terrorist group, because their whole purpose is to instill terror.
yep.
And you don't have to kill people to terrorize them. You know, wading into thick of the nonsense going on between Israel and Gaza is that you have people saying, well, these rockets aren't killing anybody. No, but they're achieving terror. They're scaring the crap. They're traumatizing people. Terror doesn't have to kill people. Look at all the people that are still traumatized from 9/11 that were never anywhere near the Twin Towers. And they're the ones that are calling for, boots on the ground in Syria and getting us all bogged down there and, closing and the whole bullshit thing about, Muslims and all of that. It's all terror related. There are, the terrorists won because they've got a lot of people terrorized. And that's why they would love to see a Republican back in the White House, because it will be able to draw the United States back into a boots on the ground armed conflict, which is exactly what these psychopaths want.
Yep. Pretty much.
On all sides.
Yep.
You've got these evangelicals, wanting the end times to come, but you can't force it, Ben Carson went to Jordan to visit a Syrian refugee camp, but he wouldn't let journalists come with him.
Yeah. Okay.
And he came back and said, "Oh well, they don't want to come to America." We have no idea what they actually said to him.
Right.
He wouldn't let reporters go with him. And think about how much that trip cost, dudes, because he has Secret Service protection. They had to travel with him. So think about how much that trip cost people on the right who yell and scream and believe that our president is not deserving of a Secret Service detail, of being protected.
Right. Exactly.
Because you know damn well as soon as his detail went away, that he'd be dead. That's the whole purpose for him to say, "I don't need Secret Service. No one's,
Yeah.
That's the other thing. Look how many white guys have jumped over the fence since this man has become president. And this last guy wanted wanting to die by Secret Service. He wanted suicide by Secret Service.
How about that? Yeah.
Yeah, he left a suicide note at his home.
Yeah.
And as a wonderful article put it, who are they going to blame when Obama leaves office? You can't blame the black guy anymore.
No, at least there's that at least, I guess. But yeah, we're still in the same boat regardless. Yeah.
Oh yeah, shame on our biracial president pushing race, because you're how dare he have black skin?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you look at our president and
yeah, what's that about? Yeah.
How come what was it? There was one person who took all sorts of flack for describing himself as biracial and not black. Forgot who he was, but he said, but that would be like, spitting in, denying half of me.
Heck yeah.
Or I love the comment. There was this article, I think it was Salon, and I'm getting really peeved with Salon magazine, all that. But they described this one person as, he's from Brazil, but he looks white. What the heck? What?
Yeah.
Sorry, if he is from Brazil and he has white skin, he's a white guy. Sorry, he's Portuguese white. His family is upper crust. Just like, Christina, you can take a look like Linda Ronstadt. She's Mexican-American. But we are so accustomed to identifying people ethnically by the color of their skin. I have a friend, he's an Iranian Jew, but he's not brown.
Right.
I have friends who are Egyptian. They're not brown or black. A bit tan, but I wouldn't call them brown.
There you go.
So we got it. So one of the things that will really help white people is stop talking about, brown and black and tan and this, and stop talking about Muslims as though like Jews are a race. No, they're still a religion. There is no land at the moment called Islamia. Unlike Jews are called Jews because we are ethnically from Judea. And the pejorative for Judea is Jew. Thank you, Rome. So so stop. I think white people need to stop identifying people by skin color.
Yeah,
because we're all the angsty ones over. Because we're all the angsty ones over skin color.
Yeah.
Which is why I like to walk around and say, "What makes you think I'm white?" I am white by the grace of the United States government, ladies and gentlemen. I was not considered white until 1979. My parents weren't considered white until 1979. My uncle, my grandmother, weren't considered white until 1979.
Right.
And only, up until then we were Jews. And we were not white. And we could be discriminated against in housing, in jobs, in college acceptance. My mother was not accepted at Northwestern University because they had filled their quota of Jews. My mother was not hired by a doctor as a medical technician because she asked for the Jewish New Year off, and he would not hire a Jew.
Right.
We could not buy a house in the Round Hill Country Club in San Ramon, California, because at the time it was an exclusive development, which meant no Jews, blacks, or Irish.
There you go. Yep.
And at one point in another housing tract, my family was accused of driving the property value down. around the same time, 3 boys that also lived on the same block as I did were beating me up because I was Jewish.
Crazy out there.
And this is
Still
California,
happens.
and
Still happens.
this is California, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
That bastion of liberalism, California is a very conservative state. Trust me, it's a conservative state.
It's
We
like
even
here in New York
had,
where
I
you
don't
got
know
all
if
the
it's
big
still,
cities are blue, but all
no,
the rest of
no,
the state is
I don't know if it's still
at
active,
least
but
pink.
while I
Yeah.
was growing up in Concord, California, we had an active Klan chapter there. And the BART police found a black man hanging from a tree in the Pleasant Hill BART station's parking lot. We know it was murder, but we just don't know if it was a lynching or not because they never found out who hung the guy, who murdered the man. So California is not that liberal. Don't judge California by San Francisco, Berkeley, and Los Angeles. For example, Riverside, California is basically the retirement community for a lot of military men. It's very conservative.
Yeah, it's
Orange
like
County is extremely conservative. We joke and call it if somebody says they're from Whittier and I say, oh, you escaped the orange curtain, they know what I'm talking about.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
white
there's
people stop
a lot of
stop
pockets
talking
that are
about people's
conservative.
skin color. You'll be happier. Yeah, it's there. You can't avoid it, but don't mention it. Don't talk about. Don't like. Oh, Don't start labeling. I like again going back. I understand the bitterness about seeing story after story about how it appears that white-skinned, psychopaths and domestic terrorists are brought in alive, and cops are so afraid of a young man, young black man, turning away and with a knife in his hand, at not even brandishing the weapon, that not only does shoot him and take him down, but that is so afraid of his life with that mortally wounded young man on the street that he has to empty his revolver into him. He has to pull a Dan White on this guy, or he has to pull what the mob would call a cowboy on him. He shouldn't have had to shoot after the guy went after he shot after that first shot, but he kept
Right.
shooting. He most definitely should be prosecuted, and even and kick the shit off the force. He has no business being a cop because he's got no judgment.
There's a lot of them out there. Too many of them. Yep.
Yep. Like I was saying before, dudes, if you've got Klan leanings or you've been associated with the Klan, you lose your badge. You have no right to be in law enforcement because you cannot enforce the law equally.
Right. Right.
Because you joined the police first because you could get away with murder.
Oh yeah, no question.
And there has to be a national database of cops who are fired for excessive. And I also have to say, go back to this. The police associations have to stop protecting bad cops. The cop that killed Eric Gardner, that was not his first brush with excessive force.
That's strange, no question.
The PBAs are more like organized crime organizations because they don't protect the good cops that rat out that expose the bad cops.
Right, right.
They don't have, and they force good cops to tacitly become bad cops because they know if they speak up and report, you know, criminal behavior or untoward behavior, that they will end up dead because suddenly there will be no backup when they need it.
Yep, they will be the marked man.
Like Frank Serpico. The last honest cop in New York City was Frank Serpico. Who had to flee the United States because his life was in danger from other cops. Because he exposed corruption within the city police department.
Yep.
And the PBA and the good cops, instead of having his back, freaked out. That's why I don't trust the New York City police. That's why I don't trust them. Because they're all corrupt. From,
Well, they don't have your back, that's for sure.
No, they don't. No, they don't. And the PBA is like saying that the civilian the civilian review board that looks into allegations of excessive force, going, oh, they're anti-cop. No, they're anti-bad cop. They're anti-cop that oversteps their bounds.
Exactly right.
Yep. If somebody if somebody calls 911 and says that their kid is having a psychotic break, and they need medical help, you don't fucking send police. Because the minute the cops show up, that kid's dead. Because they're not trained to handle the situation.
Yeah, I don't know how we move it forward.
You start training cops to use their gun as a last resort. You teach a cop how to talk somebody down. Instead of saying, I don't have time for this shit, and pull the gun and shoot them.
Right.
No, that's what happened with a couple of cases.
Oh, absolutely.
The guy's having a meltdown, and the cop, instead of just dealing with it, says, I don't have time for this. Actually said, I don't have time for this shit. Pulled his gun and shot the man dead.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. Oh my God.
And I have to go along with people saying, well, if you're following your training, you should have no objections to being filmed in public. You have no right to privacy in public.
Right.
That's what I find kind of like ironic of all the people that are saying, "Oh, surveillance cameras." You have no fucking right to privacy in public. You don't. There was one restaurant here in New York that had video surveillance on their premises, I guess because there was some stuff that went on there. But they also made it quite plain that they were also audio recording you. So what the fuck? Why do you need to record what I'm saying? I mean, I get the videotaping because of potentials for, but you don't have to record my everybody's conversations. And how do you what do you do? Have listening devices at every table, and you can just say, oh, table 15,
Yeah.
But I made sure not to go in there because not that I have anything to hide, but it's like sometimes you want a business lunch, and you don't want and you talk business over lunch, but it's going to be recorded. What are you going to do with that? It's like this was actually a very, very good question posed to me that was nobody ever thought about. With reference to Cortana, the personal assistant application in Windows 10 is that I had a customer who was looking at a Dell laptop, lawyer, and he was concerned, but they were concerned about Windows 10 because of Cortana. Because it's always listening to you. And their concern was client, lawyer client confidentiality.
Right. Yeah. I don't
mean,
know
if you guys are using Windows 10 and you don't like Cortana popping up all the time, you can go into your settings and turn Cortana off.
Yeah, at least there's that.
Yeah, but they didn't know they could turn it off.
Yeah, you got to be aware of it.
No, they don't. Microsoft doesn't tell you.
Right.
It's in your settings.
Yeah. That's like Apple. Apple doesn't tell you everything either.
Well, no, but at least Siri doesn't sit there and eavesdrop on you and pop up when you're looking for something. When you're on the web saying, "Can I help you with something?"
Yeah.
Cortana fucking spies on you.
Yeah, I don't see where Microsoft, finds that helpful. I mean,
Oh, it's great if you it's really good if you're too fucking lazy to type in a search term. You can say, "Hey, Cortana," it's like talking to Siri. You can go. Yeah. You can ask Siri, Cortana to search for you, which is great on your phone because, frankly, typing on an iPhone or an Android keyboard's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But at least Siri isn't always listening to you and popping up every so often saying, "Can I help you? What do you want to do?"
Yeah, exactly.
Also, folks, if you're looking for a TV, be aware that Vizio has decided that they're going to listen to you, for their smart app, their smart TV, and all that shit.
Yeah.
And you can turn it off, but it's they're the only ones that have decided to leave that feature on by default.
Right.
So while Vizio may have great prices on televisions, be aware that the price you pay is like having them listen to you.
Yep.
Their data, their ads are, Yeah, do you really want that? I mean, that was been one of the big things about smart TVs was the fact that it listens to your conversations, listens to you, and then it will do your searching for you because
Yeah, because you don't have to touch a thing. Basically, they'll take care of everything for you. That's what computers are supposed to do, I guess.
Well, yeah, but I would like to have control over how and when my computer I use voice search. I don't want it randomly. I don't want it randomly popping up when I'm doing something because it thinks I'm looking for something.
I think it's a bit much. Yeah, I think it's a bit 1984-ish. No question.
No, more like Brave New World. What people forget about 1984 is they never actually understand the context of that. 1984 is the aftermath of a nuclear war in England. And it's how society restructured itself after the war.
Gotta love it.
And it's a satire. There is no Big Brother. Because you end up outing yourself. There's no Big Brother. People say it's a satire about communism. I think it's more of a satire about oligarchies.
Yeah, could be. Could be that. Same kind of thing.
We've got, and you take a look at, people, Big Brother, this, that, and the other. Well, the only people Big Brother really cares about are the people in the party. They don't care about anybody else. That's why Winston Smith gets into such shit. He's a member of the party because he's got a better than average job. It's the same thing with Julia. because the proles don't have, you know, their little eyes, you know, their little, you know, cameras watching them all the time, because they're not important.
Right.
It's basically about controlling the middle class. About controlling the middle class.
Yeah, run it as a click kind of thing. Who goes up and who goes down.
And there's no
where
war.
you're going. Yeah. All that good stuff. All that high school stuff. Which still exists, you know, in the workplace these days.
Well, yeah. I mean, think about it. Your time, how long you spend in the bathroom.
Yeah.
How long it takes you to do X, Y, or Z. Thinking, you know, yeah, it's great if you're you know, robots can do all of that, but you don't take in the human factor.
Right.
You know, we're not Lucy and Ethel on the candy line.
Right. At least not yet.
Oh no, that's actually happening with the from what I understand, goes on in the Amazon warehouses.
Oh yeah, I guess.
They fire people because they can't work fast enough, so because that way they can't be sued for firing them because of their age.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
And if you're still listening to the Roundhouse Power Hour with Wink and the Roaring Girl, and you know, you could have called in if we had given you the phone number, which is 417-717-1454. Take that number down and call in and join the conflagration.
Yeah, otherwise we just keep on blathering, which is,
you know, shut me the fuck up, you know.
Yeah. That's one way to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any new movies released over the week here with a new, you know,
Spotlight's being released.
There you go.
And you know, I remember 60 Minutes back in the 90s. I remember some them beginning to talk about the pedophiles within the church and how they get moved around from parish to parish. I remember 60 Minutes doing a story on it.
Yep, usually 61 minutes, and
it was a good. It was a very good story, you know.
Yeah, it's not a bad story at all because I mean it's obviously true. Number one.
Big I understand. The Danish Girl is being released shortly. What else is being released? There's going to be a live performance of The Wiz next Thursday with Mary J. Blige as the Wicked Witch. Queen Latifah is the Wiz. Stephanie Mills, who was the original Dorothy in the original Broadway production of The Wiz, is going to be playing Auntie M.
Ah, there you go.
So it's going to be like really cool. I love that. Yeah, I like the fact that NBC is sort of bringing back Hallmark Hall of Fame with live productions.
That's pretty cool too, because that is
I would actually like them to bring back, you know, Playhouse 90.
Yeah,
and have the live theater, because I remember one of the things I loved about the Hallmark Hall of Fame were the fact that they brought and Playhouse 90, but Broadway to television. Playhouse 90, Hallmark Hall of Fame. I saw the Fantastics, Stop the World, I Want to Get Off. And Hallmark Hall of, you know, and, you know, I think Mary Martin Peter Pan was originally a Hallmark Hall of Fame. Playhouse 90 brought you live theater.
All that good stuff from the 50s and 60s, yeah.
Yeah.
Which they could bring back with no problem at all, really.
Be great.
Today. And it would add a lot to the program we got today, no question.
It would be wonderful to have, you know, Incident at Vichy brought in and televised live.
Yep.
You know, I think it would be great. You know, bring in some good. I think it'd be great to bring this back.
absolutely. I mean, that
You
live
know,
format's nice.
I mean, even
Uh,
if it's PBS doing it in great performances, but I would love to see the networks. And I think NBC um, has committed to bringing live theater, live musical theater, um, back to television.
there you go.
Because I mean, it's much more difficult to do a live, broadcast of a musical
Right.
than a live broadcast of a stage play.
Or you could bring back Ed Sullivan as a kind of a, yeah,
Basically, all these shows like The Voice and the dance shows and all these singing shows are more or less amateur hour with higher stakes.
yeah.
I I would love to see something like Ed Sullivan come back, a real variety show where you got
Yeah,
a little bit
especially
of
with him doing
everything.
the intros.
You know, got
You
a
could,
little bit of everything where you got your popular music, you got classical music, you got you know animal acts, you got other silly acts. Smothers Brothers appear. I first saw the Smothers Brothers on the Ed Sullivan Show. You had the Beatles. Ed Sullivan did a lot to you know move American music into what we've got today. He
no
put
question.
Elvis Presley on the air, put the
Yep.
Beatles on, the Dave Clark Five, the Rolling Stones.
Yep.
But he also had,
Broadway
Ethel
stuff.
Merman,
Yeah.
Broadway, ballet, opera, um, puppets, Topo
Yeah. Puppets
Gigio,
were there. Yeah.
oh, Eddie, Senor Wences.
Yeah.
For all of you old schoolers, look these folks up. Um, and
They could do it again.
they could. There's been a lot of talk about Stephen Colbert and the Late Show, and they're saying, "Oh, he's too smart for late night." No, he's giving people the option between having something thoughtful and not.
Yeah, that's
I
all.
mean, I mean, if he had done what
Close
Jimmy
the
Kimmel
void
was
there.
doing, what Jimmy Fallon's doing, he'd be accused of copycatting.
Yeah.
But he's had some great guests on. I think one of my favorite guests was this mathematics professor who wrote a book called Cooking with Pi and explained how mathematics works via cooking.
Aha. There you go.
And frankly, if she had been my mathematics teacher, I probably would have done a lot better because she's so enthusiastic and has a great sense of humor. And she doesn't make it math feel ponderous or
Right.
tedious.
We got about 30 seconds.
Who cares?
We got to get out of here. Do this again, of course, next week. Same bad time.
Same bad channel. And hope you all
Exactly.
had a good
So,
Thanksgiving. Oh, I didn't even ask you about your Thanksgiving either. How much turkey did you
I
eat?
spent most of it at the RL workplace. So that's how it worked.
Yay.
But, yeah, and like I said, I don't think it'll be back next year because we failed epically sales
Well,
wise.
it
So,
happens. You never know.
yeah.
But,
yeah.
I
True.
was really, I mean, personally, I was annoyed that the guys I work with who work at Best Buy had to work was not able to spend Thanksgiving with their families because the store was open.
Yeah. It's crazy stuff.
And I think all the stores that were open on Thanksgiving should be fucking ashamed of themselves.
Yep.
I mean,
With that,
some
we
of the
got to get out of here.
some of
We
the
got,
stores are forcing people. Well, we're on Spreaker. We can keep going.
All right. Well, okay. Well, just move off of here then. Okay. With that, we'll get out of here and
Have a good night.
catch us on Spreaker.
Yep, we're still here on Spreaker. So night.
We're out.
So we're still on Spreaker here. But I was going to say, some of the businesses were forcing people to have their Thanksgiving dinner at 3:00 in the afternoon, so they could
Right.
be at work by 5, or have their Thanksgiving meal at noon so they could be at work at 5.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I have no problem with that.
No,
Yeah.
I think businesses should be closed on Thanksgiving.
Yep. Well, I do too.
Can you
I mean,
imagine the stink that's going to be raised would get raised if anybody is open on Christmas?
Yeah. Well, they're moving to that too, I think, but I don't think that's going to happen only because the failure of Thanksgiving.
No,
But,
because
yeah,
how
they
dare you?
would
It's the
move to
war
that.
on Christmas.
But-
Well, but people don't see Thanksgiving as a holiday anymore. I mean,
Right.
take a look in the stores. You go directly from Halloween to Christmas. Stores don't even consider Thanksgiving a holiday
Well, I
anymore.
think also because
Worth
of that.
worth even putting anything up, you know.
Yeah, probably.
And of course, the only time you're going to eat turkey is Thanksgiving because that's about the only fucking time you can find a turkey.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
You know,
Pretty much the way that works.
but I have to tip my hat to the companies, businesses that decided to be closed on Thanksgiving and on Black Friday.
Yeah, it was weird.
Oh no, they're going to. I can guarantee you that the businesses that were closed on Friday are going to see a lot of business because of the way they treat their employees.
Yeah, I think it's going to make a difference. No doubt.
And I also think they're smart enough to understand that they will do better with online sales on those days.
Right.
And that basically, if you have a storefront and you also have an online, your storefront is basically a showroom.
Yeah, at this
And
point in time.
you have to look at it as a showroom. And I've got, because, you're going to shop online and see what you can do, find. And like I'm saying, most people came in, they saw it online, they wanted to come in and buy it. Sold out online, sold out here.
Right.
Oh, that laptop, it's never coming back in. I'm not going to tell you that, but it's never coming back in. You want to say goodnight to Spreaker?
Yep, I'm going to log off. But
have a good night, everybody. Join us again next
bless.
Saturday on Spreaker and at rootsradio.com. Bye.